Whoa!
Hello, everybody.
What's up? How's everyone doing?
What's up?
Oh,
Welcome to Top 10-ish.
whoa!
Hello, everybody. Where we do a Top
What's up?
10
How's everyone doing?
list every week based
Oh,
on something in the video game industry.
yes,
Video game industry.
the video game. Oh,
Yep, the video game.
and today's a very important episode. You see,
It is.
we are big. We're kind of riding the Xbox train right now. I think we should admit that.
We're buying Xboxes. We're doing a Game Pass show.
we're doing some
people-
Xbox stuff.
People on the podcast are going to start calling us Xbots.
Xbots, yes.
Oh.
But we have Sony people on, Sony fans on. We've been Sony fans ourselves back in the PS3 days, later PS3 days. But we like to talk about the differences between Sony and Microsoft in terms of how they do, their console stuff and, their exclusives and what business they're doing, what parties they're getting. And it's fun. It's a good time. But, when we have these conversations, it's hard to avoid the fact that Sony likes to do their first party exclusives. They like their exclusive titles, and they've been running with that, and it's been really successful for them. And Xbox has a new chance with Xbox Series S and X. So they got to hit strong, right?
X, don't give it to you.
Hell yeah.
I've been a PlayStation nerd since PS1. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I love PlayStation.
No, yeah, who wasn't a fan of PS2?
Right, and I loved the PS3 like no other, and I just haven't had the same affinity for them lately, I feel a lot of that's because of the fact because the games are so expensive now. A lot of what made PlayStation interesting was here, we took a chance on this weird thing. They're not doing that as much. And because they're not doing that as much, I'm just well,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But so Xbox has a chance here, especially with stuff like Game Pass, letting, just another way to play video games, new video games. So I want them to succeed in that sense. If for the proliferation of that service across all platforms, if nothing else. But let me tell you, they've been having some trouble with exclusives, in my opinion.
It's the 360 days, the early 360 days, they had all these bangers popping off, and the original Xbox, they had a lot of neat ideas, and then the 360 or the Xbox One, that first year happened, there was some cool stuff there, and then it just stopped. It was just nope, we're checking out until there were a couple cool things. Sea of Thieves happened in there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, not really anything all that fucking
nothing's really on fire. Halo's been through some weird moments. Gears has been, big. It sells a lot, but not on fire, amazing, big.
Right, and you look over at it's really hard to outside of Gears, Halo, and Forza.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, and outside of Gears, Halo, and Forza. By the way, I'm posting the final updated franchise list in the Discord.
Oh, God damn it! Okay.
Sorry, I forgot one.
That's fine.
So outside of Gears, Halo, and Forza, they haven't had really a big, they haven't had anything that really got the whole industry talking. When God of War came out, I came on the podcast of the week and was just fuck, this game, whoa.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I sat down during a Game of the Year conversation and was let me tell you about this Microsoft IP.
Right. Right.
Maybe in the back half of the top 10 list, but nothing in I can go to and be this game is a Game of the Year contender. The last one of those was Hmm.
Yeah. So
Halo 4?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Forza Horizon 3.
Oh, sure.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was the last one. So it was about 4 years ago. And then
Okay.
like before that it was like Halo 4. So,
It's so
you
yeah,
know,
Xbox is in an interesting spot right now, and so considering their exclusives, it's probably something that they've been doing for the last year or two, setting up for this console, right?
right. So it seemed like I remember in like when Game Pass came out, um uh, like Game Pass first party like came out in like 2017-ish.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was like early 2018, I believe. It
Okay.
was like right when Sea of Thieves came out is when they were like, yeah, Game Pass is fucking like, it was like right. I remember right when Sea of Thieves came out, it's like, oh yeah, all first party titles are Game Pass. I'm like, that's cool. What the fuck first party titles does Microsoft have? You know,
Sure.
like that was my thought process at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, that's cool. It's a cool service, and I'll try it out. And then like over the years, they've added a lot of stuff. I think last year was really their biggest year, and I feel like no one talked about it because like I sat down and I went to go like write this list that we're gonna pull up here,
Yeah.
and last year alone, they put out Grounded, they put out Battletoads, they put out Wasteland 3,
Mm-hmm.
they put out Gears Tactics,
Mm-hmm.
they put out Flight Sim,
Mm-hmm.
they put out a new Age of Empires, they put out Tell Me Why. They had a lot of they had a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
They had a lot of really good shit. And just no one really brought it up. And then if you're on the console side of things, like a lot of those games got redone for Series X.
Sure.
And then not to mention a bunch, Call of the Sea was last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's not on PlayStation.
Right.
There were a lot of really good Crusader Kings 3.
Mm-hmm.
That was another Microsoft joint. Like it's a lot of, and then there are a bunch of indie games that hit that service that are on other platforms, but they are free on Game Pass.
Yeah,
and
it goes back to the Game Pass service.
Like everyone is just talking about the PS. Like I remember everyone's just talking about the PS5 and the Sony exclusives. I'm just like sitting here like, Microsoft's put up a bunch of really good games. Why is no one talking about this? Why is no one talking about this?
I mean, what's going to get people talking about it is a big franchise to open things up, right?
Yeah, that's what we're here for is because if they get you in the door, then you're going to start trying other stuff in the service.
Yeah,
and then you're going to start to like. The thing is, so we're going to try and find the top 10 franchises and they get you in that door.
Is that's what I'm thinking? Is like, how do we rank these? What is the metric that we're using? Is it like just the best franchise right now, or is it the best franchise going forward from here?
I think it has to be like a combination. I think you need a little bit of what could get you to subscribe to Game Pass or buy an Xbox,
right?
Or upgrade your PC, and what has had some previous clout. Like when you say Fable, that means something to a lot of people.
Yeah.
When you say Crackdown, that means something to somebody.
It does mean something. That first Crackdown's real
good. You wanted to play Halo 3 beta really bad.
Yeah, really badly. Really, really badly.
I was so lucky. I rented it from Blockbuster, and no one registered that beta key.
Oh my god!
So I didn't have to pay for Crackdown.
I that first Crackdown's good. It's just
it was all right. It was good for the time. It was good for what
they needed to. Anyway, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Without further ado, I think we should get into this list.
Let me get my notepad, my handy dandy notepad pulled up.
So I can't even count.
There's a lot.
10,
There's a lot, man. Just
15.
Let's just
Yeah,
start
no,
cleaving.
I'm not even gonna try. This is like 30
So
plus.
go to the top of the list and let's start cleaving.
Well,
Okay.
top of the list is gonna be hard to start cleaving, but okay.
Those first three are locks, right? Those are about as green. Those are about as locked in as you
I think they're
lock
locked
in.
for now, at the very least.
All right, I'm gonna star those three, and then
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right,
Fable.
What I don't think you can cut Fable.
No,
at least not yet. I think that. All right, Mecha Salt / Warrior.
I think it stays for now.
Yes, I feel the same way about Psychonauts and Grim Fandango.
Yeah, going from the top is okay. No, we're about to get to some. Okay. Yeah.
I feel we can cut Full Throttle and Day of the Tentacle though.
So why Grim Fandango stay, but the other two go?
I think that Grim Fandango was a lot more popular and a lot funnier and a lot more interesting than the other two. And I feel that is the case because when all those got ported, Grim Fandango was the one that held up, and Grim Fandango was the one everyone talked about, and like no one gave a shit about Full Throttle, and then some people gave a shit about Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that for now. I think Grim Fandango goes eventually, but I'm fine with keeping it for now.
Yeah, like I said, this is the first pass.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
All right, so I think Crimson Skies can stay for now.
Really?
Yeah, I think that game was real important for the original Xbox's history.
Sure. Okay.
It was a real good showcase for Xbox Live. I think Age of Empires has enough history to stay.
Absolutely.
Doom, duh.
Yep.
Prey, I think, can go.
Really?
Yeah, I think Prey can go. I think that's one good game.
Okay,
that's one good game.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. They just put out that game. I don't know how much it sold.
All right, so I'm just gonna go down and tell you where I think the next cut is, and I think it's Jet Force.
You know what? Yeah, I think going top down is gonna make this difficult. Jet Force. Let's talk about Jet Force for a second.
That Jet Force Gemini was an awesome N64 co-op experience.
Sure.
I think you could potentially make a really cool co-op shooter thing out of that. That's really creative and inventive in today's modern day. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it has enough mystique the way a Perfect Dark does. So
sure,
that's where I'd go with that.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
All right,
Jet Force gone.
All right, gone. All right, looking down this list.
The hell is Voodoo Vince?
Voodoo Vince. Why? They put that out. They put that on Microsoft. So they remastered that for Xbox One and PC. You can add I'm pulling up right now.
Yeah.
You can buy the remaster for $15.
They remastered it, huh?
I don't know. Why is that not on Game Pass?
Right. Voodoo Vince. Okay.
I think that can go.
I think that can go.
I think there was one of those mascot platformers that was really interesting. That Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Staying.
Stay for now.
We can cut it. I like Blinks the Time Sweeper. I think there's something that could have been done with that. There's something fun to be done with that, but that's dead.
I think that is an interesting IP you could do something cool with eventually.
Yeah.
All right, so I think you can get rid of Evil Within.
Oh man.
I don't think either of those games were good.
Really?
They were both bad. Okay. Yeah, I've
heard some good things about Evil Within, and I've seen some gameplay of Evil Within that seemed like there was at least promise. Yeah.
Okay, Hydro Thunder, cool. That was a cool game in the arcade, but I mean, come on now.
Hydro Thunder's a fun franchise to have pop up every now and then.
Let's see. I think you can shave 99 Nights. I think that's
Where is that at? Oh yeah, all right, yep.
Yeah, they made two of those. They were both fine Dynasty Warriors clones. They looked really pretty at the time. Like they were a real good showcase for like, look at all these dudes we can throw on screen.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure.
Connect, so like Connect Sports, Connect the Moles.
That's kind of sort of dead.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, they could always bring out another one if they really wanted to.
I suppose they could.
Brute Force can go.
Brute Force. Fucking yeah. Hell yeah.
I think that you can get rid of Hexic.
Sure, I don't know what Hexic is. I probably do know, I just don't recognize it.
It was that puzzle game that came with your 360. They put out a sequel to it.
Okay, yeah.
Lips. This one, I'm just because I think Lips can stay for one round. So I mean, like, I would actually cut Dance Central before Lips because you need to connect and like they could bring it. Look, I love Dance Central, but that shit is owned by Facebook now.
Well, then why is this here?
Well, I mean, it's not owned by Facebook. It's technically owned by Microsoft still, but like they let it go beyond Oculus now, which tells you how much they give a shit about it.
That's fair, but that's something that they could bring back for VR stuff if they ever made a VR headset light enough.
Yeah, if they ever made a VR headset, that could. Yeah, well, let's say Shadowrun. What the fuck is it doing here?
Shadowrun was a fun game.
I think the Cave can go. I think like all the like every Tim Schafer game after Broken Age can go.
Is this all except for the last one, Tim Schafer?
Everything between the Cave and Lost Odyssey can go. Or from the Cave to Lost Odyssey.
From the Cave to Stacking.
Yeah, those 5.
Iron Brigade. I own Iron Brigade. I like that game exists. Yeah, all those can go. Broken Age, like, if you want to keep it for a round, I guess, but
okay, I'm cool cutting it. All right, yeah, let's. All right, Lost Odyssey. I think that could be Microsoft's Final Fantasy, but they choose not to do anything with it. In fact, I think Lost Odyssey was better than any Final Fantasy that came out during that generation.
Lost Odyssey was certainly interesting. I'm going to write out really quick Fusion Frenzy, and then I'm going to delete. All right, good.
Okay, great. Bill Gates' favorite Xbox game.
Yeah. Okay. First Prune job is not super extensive, but that's all right. We got a lot to work down.
That's okay. All right, so let's just start picking children to murder. Let's see. I'm coming in the night for Blue Dragon.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, when was the last Blue Dragon?
I think there are 2. There was only 1, I thought.
There you go. All right.
I thought there were 2 RPGs on the 360 that were published by Microsoft. And one of them was really good, Lost Odyssey, and then one of them was kind of okay, Blue Dragon.
There you go.
Blue Dragon's the one that got the anime and all the support, though, and I don't...
Really?
And it, like, had... Yeah, and it had art.
Just because of the art?
Yeah, it had art that was by... It looks like... If it's not by Toriyama, it fucking looks like it's
very inspired by Toriyama, at the very least.
Yeah, I would be... shocked. Oh, yep. It features art from Toriyama.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So that's why.
Yeah. So that's why it got. Yeah. So, but I'm very cool with letting it go. Like, I thought that game was like I like JRPGs a lot, and that was one I was like very whatever about.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Tell me if you see one that needs to die.
I'm blanking on Bard's Tale.
Bard's Tale is an old school adventure game with a lot of comedy. It's the one where like what I remember. It's the one where like you like open the disc And the disc says, "Oh, if you want to see something horrifying, turn over this disc." And it's a reflection of you. And then they're like, I don't know, man. They're like funny action adventure RPGs. They're mainly known for being comedic.
What do you think of cutting it?
I think that there's a lot of fucking Western RPGs on here, and that one is the one that can go.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. I'm looking on here. Hey, man. Looking on here. I don't want to cut Pillars of Eternity.
Okay.
I know a lot of people really like that game.
When did it come out?
That game came out 2015.
Okay.
A pretty deep RPG, but like I'm looking at this list and like for RPGs, I think Lost Odyssey is a better fit. I think Fable's a better fit. I think Fallout, Elder Scrolls. Like, there's just too much Outer Worlds now. Not to mention whenever the fuck Avowed comes out.
Well, right.
We'll have to come back to this. It's
we'll
just like
see what that's about.
There's just too much for like Pillars of Eternity to like for me to sit here and be like, oh yes, Pillars of Eternity, you should totally play that instead of playing the next Elder Scrolls or Fable.
Sure, right.
I'm just like,
If they showed an intention of continuing Pillars of Eternity, maybe.
Right, and like those dudes are too busy currently working on Avowed.
Yes,
they just made Outer Worlds, so yeah, we can
take that off.
All right. All right. What do you got?
Look, man, I don't think Lips stays.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it and Dance Central can both go.
If you're feeling that strong, if you of all people are feeling that strong about Dance Central, then fine.
I love Dance Central. It sold me on a Connect.
Yeah,
that is a game that is like when you play that shit at a con. It is a magical fucking experience. Like or a party. Like it is an experience that is unrivaled, but it's also very niche. Like not that like you have to really get people. Like you have to really be like, come on, just try it, just try it, man. And like they try it and they have a great time, and a lot of people I know get super into it. Yeah, it's hard. And same thing with Lips. Like Lips is I think every system should have a karaoke game. Lips was never as good as SingStar, even though it had way better microphones. But I think they can do better. And then what's the fact that Sony doesn't even support SingStar anymore?
Right.
Do
you think Dance Central has a use case if Microsoft went serious with VR?
I think if they went serious with VR, that's their killer IP for the time being.
Do you think that alone is a reason to keep it on the list?
No, because Microsoft has like they have very much given me the vibe that they could give a fuck about VR.
Which is weird.
For video games, I should.
Sure, no, they're doing their AR glasses and stuff like that, but
yeah, like they got their HoloLens, fucking room scale, crazy VR shit.
I wonder if they're like biding their time until they can figure out how to do VR with like a headset that makes sense.
Yeah,
because Microsoft of all people should be the ones that are mastering this VR setup. But
yeah,
weird.
I think Blinks can go.
Yeah, I already deleted Blinks, so yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. Tycoon and Crackdown can both go.
Tycoon, are you talking? Is this like Roller Coaster Tycoon and?
Yeah, and Zoo Tycoon. Yeah,
those games are fun and great. But yeah, Crackdown. They could do stuff with Crackdown, man, but they just have not figured that out. So
who the fuck made like? Okay, I need to look up Crackdown's developer history.
yes, please.
Like the first one was made. Oh, hold on. Oh Jesus!
What have you done?
I went to their website. It's just moving and crazy. Okay. The first one was developed by Real Time Worlds, Ruffian Gang, and Sumo Digital.
Wow.
I had 3 developers on that boy.
Okay.
And then Crackdown 3 was developed by Sumo Digital. And it was written by the Halo guy. 1 through Reach.
Okay.
And let me find Crackdown 2. Hold on.
Yeah.
Crackdown 2 was done by Ruffian Games. So
Crackdown 2 is the one we were like, I don't know.
Crackdown 3 like got delayed a million billion times.
Yep.
And then like yeah, so
they got Terry
as for
Crews to try
Sumo Digital,
and hype it up.
Sumo Digital like has put out like they feel Sumo Digital feels like the B team, like everybody's B team.
Sure.
Like they did like okay, so after Crackdown, they did like they did a bunch of racing games for Sega, including Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing and Racing Transformed.
Those are good.
And then they did Xbox Fitness. And then like Media Molecule was busy, so they did Little Big Planet 3.
That's right.
They took like a decade to make Crackdown 3, but also did Team Sonic Racing, and recently put out Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Weird. So like literally it just feels like this team gets called in like, hey, we need something to fill a spot.
Yeah.
Can you make a game? Can you make a racing game? You can't make a racing game. What about a game with Sackboy? You like Sackboy?
I like the idea of being like a developer for hire, and then you're just your team just always just goes wherever, and you can just play with exclusive IPs, but it's just for this weird off-brand thing. It's just weird.
Like Crackdown is an IP you can do cool shit with,
but they just don't.
That I will totally give you.
Yeah,
but they do not for whatever fucking reason, and like I don't know. And like the thing is like who would you you look in the like Xbox stable, Xbox like studio stable, right?
Yeah,
and like I don't know who the fuck you would give it to either.
That's fair.
Like the only person I would give it to is the Initiative. Like they're working on Perfect Dark or Rare, but Rare's off doing their weird storybook fucking crazy shit.
And apparently so like, adding new shit still to Sea of Thieves, so they're busy.
Yeah, so they're busy. It's like maybe World's Edge. They or no, not World's Edge, they're Age of Empires. Compulsion. Like Compulsion's done 2 games. They've done We Happy Few, and they've done Contrast. I really liked Contrast. That was a PS4 launch title. And then We Happy Few was
what it was,
a weird survival horror story based thing.
Yeah. I just think Crackdown has. The fact that it's gotten as far as it has, like, as a name, says something about what they have with it. It's just that they can't figure out how to do it right.
Like, the thing is like, if I'm not willing to take a risk. Like, look at other IPs on here, and I'm like, I would be much more confident throwing a risk behind Conquer or another KI or Quake.
Sure.
Or like, like that's my thing. Like it's the same thing with like I look at like State of Decay and I'm like, those 2 games are really good.
Yeah.
They're cool co-op Zambambo things.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go and be like, let's go sell a system behind this, baby.
That is another thing, just the current state of things. I'm coming at this as like a dev perspective, like the things you could do with Crackdown gets me really excited, but if I'm someone that's running Xbox, knowing the studios that we have and what they're busy with, and can we do something with Crackdown, it's like, no. So, yeah, I think Crackdown, at least.
Yeah, I'm just like, same thing, like, I love Project Gotham Racing.
Sure.
I think Project Gotham Racing is better than Forza Horizon.
Really?
Yes, I will stand by that. But Forza won. Forza won. That's
And then what place does Project Gotham have with Forza being what it is?
right, exactly. Like, and they've even started to put stuff from Project Gotham in Forza.
Yep.
So, it's
So
like
that's basically it.
I like the style of Project Gotham more. I like the driving physics more, but there was always hope when it was just Forza Motorsport. But now that Horizon exists, it's like, okay, the developer for that series is dead, and now the series itself is dead. So yeah, it's not.
Yep.
It's so hard to say goodbye.
All right.
Yeah. So nah.
Is it my turn to pick?
Yeah, you pick one.
Explosion Man.
Yeah.
Fun for the time.
I think that we need a cutesy mascot on here.
We do. We have plenty. I mean, maybe not plenty, but we have a couple that are definitely more recognizable and.
And I think those games are cool.
Those games are cool.
Those two Explosion Man games.
Yep.
I really like them. I would love if they made a new one, but they're not like. Explosion Man is like, I'm not even sure if he's a character that, like, when you do that big back of the box Game Pass thing, if he would be one of the characters listed.
What the hell is that? I don't even remember that.
What?
Yeah, no, just like looking at like Explosion Man on the back of a box, like, what?
Who the fuck is?
It's like the guy, like also putting the Shadow Complex guy right next to him. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, like
okay.
Like Microsoft already has I remember like seeing a Game Pass T-shirt the other day, and like it being like me looking at it and going like, okay, I recognize Master Chief, and there's a car from Forza, and then who the fuck are most of these other people?
That's kind of their problem right now. But yeah.
Okay, so there's like Pirates from Sea of Thieves, unnamed characters. Gears of War people.
Yep.
The ship from the Outer Worlds.
Wow. Okay.
And a pig and a chicken from Minecraft, and a Forza car.
Right. Oh, so is that on this list? Should it be on this list? Minecraft?
No, I don't think it should.
No,
I think it's they're committed to like not that. They're very much committed to like having that be its own like.
It's going to be on the box, but
it's not like
that's fair.
That shit's on everything.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Good that they're keeping it that way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They realize that they make way more money selling that to everyone from here to Shanghai rather than just locking it to Xbox. I'm sure they realize that they would sell more Xboxes than you would ever know. They probably sat there and did like the cost analysis and were like, oh dude, we make way more money putting this on literally every device from Vita to the iPhone from 2011.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess I think State of Decay can go.
Okay.
There's a lot of good co-op experiences on here, and
I think there's potential for a sequel, probably. Sure, right?
Yeah. That second game was good, and the third one will probably be even better. No.
But not a top 10.
No, I think. Let's see. What about you? Well, you got one? Gonna get hard.
It's getting hard actually now, because like there are some of these that like are obviously they can't be top 10, but maybe.
But you like them.
What if they made a good one of those? Would it be a top 10?
Like I'm sitting here going like looking at like certain ones of these, and I'm like, No, they could make a real good one of these in 2021.
What if Tim Schafer and crew got their hands on Conker?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Conker here for a second.
I think that's probably my mascot of choice.
Right.
Like it's either that, like, okay, you want to keep him, or like you want to keep him. Like, I would settle for them just remastering and bringing back the online for Conker Reloaded. That's how much I fucking like Conker.
Man.
I just showed stuff from Conker to Steph the other day.
Sure.
She's where I'm just like, oh, it's like Greg the Grim Reaper hates cats. She's like, what the fuck is you talking about? And I showed her a clip from Conker. Here's Greg the Grim Reaper. I hate cats that piss everywhere and they're 9 lives.
Like when you think about like meme culture on Reddit and Twitter, like think of a Conker, you know, with that kind of thing going on.
Oh, just all the pop culture shit that has happened in the 20 years since that game came out.
Remember it had a Matrix level?
Like Flush. Yeah. It ends with a fight with an alien.
Yep.
It has like a fucking Saving Private Ryan level.
Yeah, it does. It was just riffing on movies. And like, I don't know, there's something to be done with that route. If, you know, there's a lot you could do, but I don't think. Remember when they were doing like, it was like a Fox like platforming game, but you could sub in your own, or there was an alternate skin that was like a squirrel, like a Conker squirrel.
Oh, or they did that Project Spark thing.
It was Project Spark. That's
like,
what it
Project
was.
Spark. Yeah, it was Project Spark was Dreams before Dreams existed, and they put in a Conker like pack.
Yep. And they teased it about something with Conker, and people got super excited, and then it was just a skin for that, and they were like, people were not happy.
I think a Conker would need a lot of people to buy a fucking Xbox.
That's the thing. Really, again, from a lot of older people, you know, no kid really cares, but
everything on here is for fucking older people, Aaron.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's Xbox's problem.
They fucking, and which is weird because they have like the best setup, besides Nintendo, of course, to like get kids on. Like they have a sub service that's cheap.
Yep.
They have the cheaper box.
Yep.
They have the lower buy-in.
If you want to talk about getting kids, I think there are two rare franchises on here that would do a better job than Conker.
Is it Viva Pinata and Banjo?
Those would be the two.
Yeah.
I can imagine the future, you know?
Like, you're right, because like I sit here and I go like, I think of like what happens if you make Conker in 2021, and it's the most hilarious shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, think of all the MCU parodies you could do.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Think of the fucking think of like all the shit you could do with like Cobra and fucking the President.
Imagine a whole level where like it's like a stealth level, but you're being Batman and Conker does the gravelly Batman voice, and he's just like swearing a bunch. I don't know. There's fun to be had with that.
Rare hire us.
Right.
Like just. Like, imagine, you know, just imagine like a Conker level where instead of being king, he's president and he's like a Donald Trump parody.
See, now it's almost too late for that, but like, man, they could have done some real good shit with that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Conker could go, but it hurts me to do it.
Again, this is the same thing with Crackdown. Like, you can imagine a good one of these, but I don't think us imagining the most ideal scenario is a good excuse to keep these games on these lists.
Once again, I think Prey can go.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at like what's left over here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype for that remake of Prey, and then it came out and it was like,
yeah, like it was fine. Like it was at like that game. It was fine. Like I don't get why some people went nuts over it. And then there was Prey, like 2006, which was like a game that Quinn and I are gonna argue about till the day we die. I'm like, this game sucks. And then he argues, no, Prey 2006 is amazing. I'm like, no, this game really does suck.
It was a game to play when it was a game to play in early Xbox days.
It was a game to play that came out on the 360 in July 2006, so there was nothing else there.
Yep.
It was in development for at that point would have been 11 years. So, like it was an interesting idea. Like it had some cool tech behind it. Like I want to say that thing used id Tech 4. They're using the newest id Tech. And like it was a neat game, but it was just like it's just it was very
Yeah.
And they had some cool puzzles.
Yeah.
And then like the new one was also whatever. So it's just like,
another game I just looked up that is associated in my mind to that time was The Darkness, which is a third-party title, but man, I wish they would make a third Darkness. Ugh.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
God, I'm watching this footage of Prey 2006. Like, I remember like playing this on 360 and thinking, like, God, at the time it was like, oh, the graphics look so great.
Yep.
Like now I'm just like, why is everything so blurry?
Remember when your like elder is like held by aliens in the demo, and then he just gets stabbed over and over again, and you have to watch.
Yep,
that was fun.
I remember that game was like that was like another one of those games. Like it was one of those id Tech 4 games with Quake 4 that was like, look at this crazy lighting and shit that id Tech 4 does. And then Unreal Engine came out and was like, ha 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 ha. Look at this shit. Right. Look at Gears of War. Look at it. And you're like, wow.
Okay.
Fucking yeah. I'm gonna do a controversial one here.
Okay.
I think Flight Sim is very niche. I think Flight Sim is very niche. It's a big name, but I think it can go.
I tried to boot up Flight Sim and then realized I didn't know how to fly a plane. And then I had to look up through tutorials how to take off a plane. And I finally figured it out. And then I was in the air. And I was there. And I did a flight from Seattle to Reno. So it's like 2 hours of flying. I was like, this game is great.
I think that game, very similar to Drive.bmg, that car game Anthony plays.
Yeah.
Requires you to just have a love of airplanes and flight that a select amount of people have.
Yeah.
Then the other people who buy that game are like just massive tech nerds. Had that game not been on Game Pass, I would have bought it because I find the technology behind it fascinating.
It's awesome. It's really cool.
I am one of those people who I love new graphics tech and graphics hardware.
Well, yeah.
I love it. Like it's like hardware porn is in fact a thing for me, and but those two audiences are small. And that game is niche as hell, and it's I don't know. It's just not. I think it can just go. I think that
we can cut it. The highlight was everyone flying to Jeffrey Epstein's island. So
yeah, I think that flying over Reno and be like, oh, there's Reno High. That was real cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Go, my child.
Oh, looking at these. I'm gonna take some shots because, like, I don't even looking at what we have left. There's nothing I feel like strongly needs to go at this point. So I'm just gonna start taking shots just so we can have the conversation. I want to come back to Lost Odyssey here. Just looking at the list that we have here. How does Lost Odyssey fit?
I think that it is probably one of the best RPGs on this list. I think that it's probably outside of Elder Scrolls would be my pick for RPG. But there's only one of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that studio exists anymore.
They would have to give it to a new studio, right?
I mean, that or they'd go track down the Final Fantasy guy because he's the one who made it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, that studio still exists.
What are they doing?
They're working on a game called Fantasian. Okay. And they're working. So they put out a bunch of Terra Battle games and The Last Story. Their most recent, like Anthony really likes these games made by these dudes. But yeah, like it was made by the original Final Fantasy guy. I'm okay cutting it because there's only one.
The chances of them coming back with it are not high.
Are not high. It's like a very niche game. It's an awesome game though. If you guys like Final Fantasy, check out Lost Odyssey. It gives you like the old school Final Fantasy vibes.
Man.
And I can't say nicer things about it.
All right.
Dishonored can go.
Really?
Yeah, I think
those two games made an impression on some people.
It did. It's just that it's either that or I go Quake.
They're trying to make Quake a thing. I mean, not Microsoft, but yeah.
No, they tried to make Quake a thing, and it flatlined. Okay, look, I was so fucking excited for that game. I love those kind of shooters.
Sure.
Though the internet just does not care anymore. They did not give a shit about Unreal Tournament coming back. They didn't give a shit about Quake coming back.
I was gonna say, yeah, they haven't done much with Unreal Tournament, so.
And like Lawbreakers was also that, and it did shit. Yeah, like it's just.
I think the closest relative to those games that survives on a list like this is Halo.
And Halo plays like the only thing in Halo that's the same as those games is like map control.
Right.
Like that's it. And even like Halo's
crazy slow compared to these other games we're talking about.
Yeah, like Halo is a fucking crippled, dying old man compared to these. So like it's just the audience just doesn't want these anymore. And that's a bummer because I love them.
Yeah.
Like Lawbreakers did garbage. New Unreal did garbage. Like, how many people are playing Quake Champions right now? Like,
I want to look. I want to hear this.
Yeah, like I want to hear this depressing statistic. I'm sure. Probably
enough.
Free to play now. Okay. I have a bunch of DLC characters in it because I play a bunch of id games. I paid for the game when it was like out. Because I'm a sucker.
Right.
No, because I had hope. I was just like no, dude. I remember that Bethesda presentation. Like I want to say it was E3 15 or 16 when they unveiled it, and I'm like, fuck Fallout. They're bringing back motherfucking Quake. And I'm just like fucking obnoxious as hell.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I was so excited and just like they tried to like keep Quake's gameplay but add like, you know, Overwatch MOBA style elements to having characters.
Yeah.
But the problem is part of the reason why people like Quake is the starts are flat.
Yeah.
That's why people like Quake, is everyone has X amount of health, X amount of items, and everyone knows where shit on the map is.
Right.
It's all skill based.
Why?
The problem is, Here's the problem for that kind of game design, especially now. And even Halo has this problem. Halo's found ways to mitigate it better than Quake or Unreal does.
Mm-hmm.
Quake and Unreal both reward veteran skill more than anything else. So knowing the maps, knowing the aim, knowing how to do all the crazy trick shot bullshit.
Yeah.
If you don't know that stuff, you are just gonna get wrecked and have a terrible time.
Sure.
And if you were like me and Quinn back in the day, you did bot matches and you fought through that bullcrap and you got really good at playing Unreal Tournament and playing like 99.9% of people are going to play that game for 10 minutes, get owned, and then go back to playing Call of Duty.
Sure.
Like, that's what's going to happen. Or PUBG or, whatever game is far more, like, forgiving. So, like, because even, like, I play... Because this new one is no exception. Even with the class stuff and whatnot, it is very much like I hopped into a game and didn't know what I was doing at first. Like, yeah, I picked it back up quicker than most because I know how Quake worked.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like if you are new, that is just a shredder.
Right.
So like, I don't know how you bring it back. It's not like Doom where it's like a single player experience, so you can be like, okay, how does Doom actually work? Boom, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Quake, all that. It's just. Mm-mm.
If you brought back Quake and like found a way to get people interested in it, I'd be all for it. But
what if they made a third new Doom and then the multiplayer was just Quake but with Doom skins?
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. I think Quake as a product on its own, I don't think it works anymore. So
like, I think if that's your trap to get people to try Quake again and like Quake, like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
If that's your trap, you're like, haha, I tricked you. You're playing Quake.
Be funny.
I'd like it for like the 2 weeks that's popular.
Right, of course.
Okay. So
okay.
Yeah. Quake's gone. All right. You pick a child, any child.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. We're at 25. Jesus Christ.
Fucking 18 of these.
But like what makes it hard is just like I could see a lot of these eking into the 10th spot. So
yeah, like I look at like Battletoads and I'm like, that last Battletoads was awesome. What you could do with a sequel would be wild. Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up is we're not considering like genre variety within the top 10, right?
No, I'm thinking about like a little, like a hair, like that like like if we get down to like number 11 and 10, it's like, okay, we got Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Fable all here. One of these better go.
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't know these games very well, so I'll talk to you about them. Wasteland.
That's a really good strategy franchise. It's very beloved. I'm not particularly super big on it because I don't like that kind of game.
But they did just make a new one.
It did very well.
And it did well. So I'd maybe not cut at this moment, but
no, I think we can double back to it at least.
So are there any plans for a new Dishonored?
Good question.
Yeah, because like
I want to say that studio is working on Ghostwire.
Oh man, really? Okay.
Hold on. Who developed that? Oh, that studio is working on Deathloop right now.
Oh man, okay.
They did Deathloop and Prey and Wolfenstein: The Youngblood.
I just not Wolfenstein. I mean Wolfenstein, but Dishonored had an impact on like people kind of gave a shit about that franchise for a hot minute there. So much that within this year I have now seen a Dishonored hand tattoo for not so great reasons. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's something there. There's something that they could do with that. That's a franchise that if Xbox said, we need a leading franchise, people know what Dishonored is. Make a, I don't know, rebooted version of Dishonored or something. But I don't care about Dishonored. I'm personally someone who did not really super enjoy Dishonored, but
I thought it was a fine stealth game. I think that I think there are just better, more interesting games on this list. I look over at I'm looking at this list. I'm going okay, would you want a new Dishonored? Or do you want a new Sea of Thieves? Do you want a new Dishonored? Or do you want a new Quarry?
Okay, yeah. Well,
do you want a new Dishonored or do you want a new Killer Instinct? I'm just no. I think I look at it and I'm like, I could maybe argue for a new Dishonored over a new Hellblade. Maybe.
Okay, here's something that'll help this list along. Can we put in 3 more locks?
Okay, what do you think are the other locks?
Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
I will give you Doom out of that list, and I will give you Doom.
Not okay.
I'm almost willing to concede Elder Scrolls.
Almost, huh?
Yeah, I think Fallout is on its way out.
Dude.
Where's room for Fallout in Microsoft's whole thing right now? Because they're doing Avowed, they're doing Fable, they're doing Elder Scrolls 6, right?
Yes.
It's where's room for Fallout?
I mean, Fallout's a very, very much loved franchise, even after all this time it's been done dirty.
You know? It'd be good if they made a good Fallout this decade.
What if they made a good Fallout in, a not Fallout 76? The problem is that's the thing, is 3 and 4. I feel like as time has passed, people have recognized that 3 and 4 are not as good of games as we thought they were. I mean, 4 did not
good
do
games at all.
but you know Fallout 3 was celebrated at the time.
No, it was. I remember playing that game and playing through it and trying to I remember forcing myself to play 30 hours of that game, try and understand, because so many people kept jerking it off, and I'm like, okay, fine. Because at first time I played it, I played 5 hours of it, I'm like, this is trash. And I was like, fine, I will try and understand.
Yeah.
And I beat it, I put 30 hours into it, and that just galvanized me even further, just be this game is shit. And then Fallout 4 came out when I was working in Games Press still.
Yep.
And oh god, somebody timestamp this. When I was working in fucking Games Press still, so of course we had to cover it. At the time, Ray and I were streaming new releases every week. What did everyone want to see at the time?
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
So for a month straight, Ray and I streamed Fallout 4. And the entire time, I shit-talked it. It was bad and not finished and buggy, especially because we were playing on a PS4.
Oh, God, yeah.
It was a buggy mess. And the chat kept telling me I was playing it wrong. And I love when the chat tells me I'm playing it wrong.
Oh, so good.
And just, I got so, and I was just so done. And no. Dude, no. Those games are bad. I'm those games are bad. Fallout 76 is awful.
The franchise I've always bounced off of. It didn't matter if it was 3 or 4 or 1 or New Vegas or 76. I just could never stick with anything Fallout. But that's all I hear about.
New Vegas, I enjoyed a little bit. Like, I
People
got
say that
some
game is
enjoyment out of
amazing.
New Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, New Vegas, like, you know, I came to it years and years later on the PC, and like I came to it because I had friends who were like, "Okay, no, this is not the Bethesda one." Like, and like, yes, I enjoyed the humor and the writing a lot more, and it was a better overall experience.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even then, I wasn't like wowed by it. Like, I was just like, "This is better." It's still
Fallout.
you know, Fallout. Environments are not interesting to navigate. Like, the story and lore is cool, but not cool enough to make me want to hang around.
Yep.
And like, you know, you have, you know, 3 other RPG franchises on this list that are kind of more interesting.
What are those two?
I feel. Or sorry, 2, and then like they are currently making a new one.
Right. Let's not worry about that one right now.
They're doing, yeah, they have like Fable and they have Elder Scrolls.
So,
I'm more willing to lock Fable in just because that's like, that actually has like a Microsoft history to it as well.
It has a Microsoft history, but as someone who also does not care all that much about Fable, what is like, it has a name that people recognize. But
I think that its combat is a lot more actiony and actually kind of feels good. I think that like they did that whole like, yes, you have to fully go all in on good or evil, but like you can be the hero of the day or you can doom society. I always thought that was a really cool thing.
I mean, it was cool at the time. I think they need to do more with it if they were to, like, we need to see what this new game is. But like, I thought the combat was serviceable. Like, you could have relationships with people, fine. You could mess with the economy, fine.
You go fucking, like, all that shit was super fun. Like that was like a level of freedom that was like really new at the time.
Sure.
You still can't do some of that shit. Like, you still can't do some of that shit in, like, you know, Witcher or modern Elder Scrolls.
That's true. The economy stuff was interesting. I just, did not appeal to me and what I come to games for. But if they were to continue like leaning into that, then great. And they did it in other aspects.
Having my friend yell at me to impregnate him because you could marry other players and have kids.
That's true. Being able to marry other players and have kids is fun.
That was a funny thing when I go into an Xbox Live party and like 20-year-old man is like, I want to have a baby with you.
I mean, there are guys that are like that. It's just not usually through Fable.
Do we? I'm willing to lock Doom and Elder Scrolls though.
You're willing to lock Elder Scrolls?
I'll lock Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
Looking at this list,
we have 4 slots to fill if we feel good about these.
Okay, so we have Halo, Gears, Forza, ESO, Elder Scrolls, and Doom. So we have 5 we need to fill.
Oh, did we not lock Fable?
Oh, I didn't lock Fable yet. I think we could lock Fable.
Oh, I thought we did lock Fable. If we can talk, you know, we were in the middle of talking about Fable. Do we feel like that's a lock or nah? Let's wait. Let's wait on that. All right.
All right. I mean, Outer Worlds got 1 game, and once again, we are really full up on RPGs.
We are full up on RPGs. They're working on Avowed, and I think Outer Worlds was like, you guys like New Vegas, let's do that. And now they have technically have access to Fallout now, so they could make a good Fallout. But anyway,
the game was so funny.
Yeah,
so goddamn funny. All right, looking at this list.
Whew. This is getting hard now that I'm looking at, because some of these, it's like, again, you have to go back to what could potentially be really good.
I think Battletoads can go.
At this point?
Breaks my heart, but yeah, like it's That was a really awesome beat 'em up. That their comeback was great. I'm glad it did well. I hope they make another and expand on it.
Yeah, see if they can expand on it in a sequel, then maybe this conversation goes differently. But where it stands right now,
I think you can get rid of Wasteland.
Yeah,
it's just not big enough.
Not yet.
It's not big enough.
Did we get rid of Dishonored?
I think that I got rid of Dishonored.
Yeah.
I think that looking at this list, I think Hellblade's almost I think Hellblade has the same thing that Battletoads has. Very first awesome game. They're working on a second. I hope it's just every bit as good. The tech behind it look cool, but we have no details yet.
We just don't know what that second game is. So right now,
and I just Age of Empires. I think those games are once again that I'm glad they brought it back. I hope they make a new one and does really well. But it's one of those things where you're kind of just sitting here going like, okay, well, what do you do with it? And if so, you put out those 3 remakes last year, good for you. When are you putting out a new one? And if so, what do you do with it? And how good is it? And they have a whole studio that makes just that.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard it, so I'm ready to drop it.
I have a friend that's really trying to sell me on Age of Empires 2. And I've never played an Age of Empires game, so may try it at some point. I found out that Red Bull Gaming does Age of Empires tournaments, so that's funny in my mind. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Kind of like that's why you bring up Age of Empires. Like, if you had asked me before I had seen all this, I would have said a flat, yeah, this can go. And this, I'm like, it can go, but it could be something. There's an audience.
Yeah, I think that.
I think if Age of Empires goes, Crimson Skies goes.
Yeah, those are both two old Microsoft. Those are old man Microsoft. I had an original Xbox and a computer in 2002. I think kind of Mech Warrior can go in that same boat / Assault.
So when was the last Mech Warrior?
It was fairly recent.
What?
Mech Warrior 5, which was a year ago.
Wow.
December of 19.
How did that sell?
Pretty good. It's got an 84% of people like this game.
I just feel there's a future for these mech games, and there's something about mechs in general that really appeals to me.
I'm in that camp. It's just that I want them to stop with this sim bullshit and go back to making Mech Assault. My caveat of keeping this is if they bring back Assault as well.
When was Assault?
Yes, 2005.
Yeah. Well, let me look at this list again. Mech Assault's one that I want to be in the top 10, but that's looking at the rest of these games here, I don't. There are a lot of games. As I'm looking at all this lined up, I'm starting to think I don't know if that makes it, because a lot of these. Ooh. Okay. We can get rid of Mech Assault.
Okay. Do we want to keep Grim Fandango?
No.
I'm ready to let it go.
Yep. We have we have a Tim Schafer game on here.
I think that Grim Fandango is hilarious.
Sure.
I think those characters are really likable, but of the Tim Schafer IP, Psychonauts is the biggest one.
Sure.
So that's the one you got to keep. That's the one you got to keep.
Yep. I think we're starting to get into the nitty gritty. Can we take a 30-second break, and I'm gonna just grab my drink real quick to finish this off?
Hey, go ahead.
Oh, sing a song.
Sing a song. I am the great mighty Pooh. Oh wait, no, we cut that game. Damn.
All right, I'm back.
I was just saying about. I was starting to sing the Great Mighty Pooh song. I'm like, oh wait, we cut that game.
Conquer. All right, Bronson. It's time.
All right, time.
Does Cameo really stay?
I mean, I'm very conflicted because I think if you make a new one of those, you sit down and you're like, initiative, once you're done with Perfect Dark, do you want to make a Naughty Dog ass action adventure game? You play a fairy princess that transforms into all these weird ass awesome monsters. You have potential to make a sick ass video game. like really, Cameo's whole shtick. That was the shtick of what Cameo was. Like, here, turn into all these dope monsters and like fight against this orcs and with like amazing music, and like it was a technical showpiece at the time.
Right.
You still load up that game. It's great and runs great.
That's
but
on
it's
Game Pass,
just
right?
Yes, it's part of Rare Replay.
Fuck.
All
right. Yeah.
But yeah, like that game was a like a real showpiece for the launch of the 360, and it looked great, and like it's so I think of that one release, and I'm like, God damn, it's good.
Right.
And then I also think like what you could do with a sequel with I think of like, oh man, what if you put a really good action adventure developer behind that, like a Naughty Dog or like a Remedy or something like that, and I think or like fuck did Tomb Raider
Crystal Dynamics? No.
Yeah, Crystal Dynamics. Like you put one of them behind, I'm like, fuck, dude. Make a really good ass game. But yeah, there is just one, and it was a really good launch title, and they had plans for a sequel. That they even talk about it in the Rare Replay behind the scenes once you unlock it, and it just never happened.
Man.
And that's a bummer because game was cool.
Right.
It was really cool.
Right.
Yeah, and like that. I'm willing to let it go, but it is one of those ones that hurts to do. Sure.
Well, we're starting to get to the point where it's going to start hurting no matter what we do.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we're there.
And once again, Rare Replay, like you can straight up see like all this rad ass concept art they did for her and the monsters. Like they did evolved forms of all the monsters.
Man.
And like they had test footage of like like the Eagle Vision in the new Assassin's Creed. They had like test footage of that.
Wow.
And I'm just like, oh, this hurts that this exists. It hurts that it exists.
Oh my god. Yeah.
No, this comment on the YouTube video, and the Microsoft, no, this isn't just tracing at all. We need Kinect Sports.
All right, we are at top 15.
All right,
we're looking to get to top 10. I know the ish is there, but the ish was put there in case, honestly, if we had less than 10, or if our list had to be ranked of all of them, and it's there's 12. It's well, so
top 100.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
All right.
Wolfenstein.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like Wolfenstein has been riding a high in recent years.
I feel like those two, the base of those two games is really good. It's the Young Blood wasn't very good.
Yeah. No.
I also then like I can go either way on it. I think I'm more than willing to cut Fallout. More than willing to cut Fallout.
Oh man, I have a hard time with Fallout. Like, as someone who does not enjoy those games, I have a hard time cutting Fallout because that is something that if you say we are making a mainline Fallout and just say that in a press conference, like people, like a shit ton of people start talking and pre-ordering a non-existent game and.
Yep. Yep, they sure do.
That's something that Wolfenstein doesn't have.
It'd be cool. I mean, we can cut them both. I mean, that gets us 2 games closer.
I mean, sure. There are 2 games on here that I would. There 2 franchises I would cut here if they didn't have a game that was being made currently, and those games are Psychonauts and Perfect Dark.
Okay, yeah. Perfect Dark is like their quad A team, so I feel like we can't.
That's the thing. It's we cannot cut it because of that reason.
We have so much faith in this franchise that we made a new studio and staffed it with and stole the best talent in the world to come work on it. We would look like the biggest assholes.
I think that has to be a lock. I think we're obligated to make it a lock.
Yeah, and to be fair, I agree with the statement of like, man, you could do something really fucking cool with Perfect Dark.
Sure.
I'm glad we finally got a trailer.
Right, but again, you go back to what you could do. Like, you could do a lot with a lot of these.
You do a lot of cool. And what was the other one? Yeah, Perfect Dark and Psychonauts. Okay,
Psychonauts 2's coming eventually here.
Yeah, that's out like soon.
That's out soon.
That was supposed to be February, but it's been pushed. Let's see when it got pushed to. Yeah, like it's.
Okay, I think we need to start looking at this. Like, when I look at this list of 6, like Halo, Gears, Forza, Doom, Elder Scrolls. Like, these are big, like those 5, first of all, are big titles that you could like bundle a launch system with. Perfect Dark is here because, man, they are banking hard on it, and people like that first game.
Yeah, it's like, like they very much were just like, hey, motherfuckers, we are so committed to this. We are 110% all in.
But I'm looking at some of these other ones, and like, even if Psychonauts 2 is good, is it going to be Halo, Gears, Forza, Doom, Elder Scrolls good?
No, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Psychonauts can go.
And on that subject, let's talk about Banjo-Kazooie.
Hey, I think Banjo-Kazooie is the perfect mascot to have for kids.
Absolutely.
I think if you came out, if you came out and said, "Hey, we hired Sumo Digital to do Banjo Pilot, so we're gonna have our kart racer, and we got who made and Double Fine's next game is a new Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo 3E. Let's get it."
Yeah.
I think that's one of those announcements that like at E3 is like a showstopper.
Yes.
That's a big name. Like Banjo for Smash, right?
That's the thing. That's how young kids know Banjo now. That's the only way they know him.
But like, if you go look up like YouTube reaction to Banjo and Smash, like fucking just the amount of freaking out that's happening across so many different like walks of life. And granted, they're all in that like, I think they're all of all age groups.
Yeah.
They're fucking like they're from age like 20 all the way up to old fogies in their 40s.
Sure.
So I think Banjo does have a little bit of a universal appeal as well.
That's the thing. If they actually went out of their way to make a full-on like Banjo game, that would be a big deal.
They know the IP is a big fucking deal because they're willing to fucking have it be in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
They keep fucking bringing it up.
Last game was nuts and bolts.
Yeah. It came out in like 2008.
Yeah.
It came out and that was like a 2008 Game of the Year contender.
Right.
Like it's.
I
don't know.
I think Banjo-Kazooie can stay for now. I think Banjo-Kazooie has a better argument, if only slightly, than Viva Pinata.
I think out of this list, I think Wolfenstein. I think that the story in those games are really cool and interesting. I think Fallout deserves more to like. At least Wolfenstein's games have been good, good, and in the case of the Youngblood, like middling. Versus Fallout, where they've just been bad. I think that I think if you announce a new Banjo-Kazooie, it's a bigger reaction, a bigger deal than a new Wolfenstein. Maybe not a new Fallout, but a new Wolfenstein for sure.
I can see that argument. Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein has a history to it, which is why I think I'm hesitating. Just Wolfenstein 3D has been hyped. Everyone knows about Mecha Hitler and all that. But
I will say we can probably cut Ori at this point.
We've been dancing around Ori. That last game they put out was good.
Those are the two of the best games on the Xbox One.
Oof.
Like those are two of the best games in their genre.
Mm-hmm.
But they are also, at the end of the day, like indie titles, and while Microsoft, for whatever reason, is willing to put them in their E3 showcase, they kind of don't highlight them anywhere else.
Yeah,
I find that to be weird because, I find that to be very weird. Like you would think, you go on the Game Pass page,
mm-hmm.
right, and it's nowhere to be found. In fact, the current game they're hyping up is Psychonauts 2. It's like, okay, well, what about their new console page? I'm gonna shop for a new Xbox.
Yep.
And it's okay, there's one picture of it.
Okay.
And then all right, what about all right, let me get a new box. Let's see. So there's one little tiny thing of it, and all this marketing. And it shows up every now and then. It looks interesting, but it's they're not willing to back it. And maybe it's because it's an indie game, and maybe because they know it's hard. I don't know why they're kind of avoiding it. You would think being as critically acclaimed as it is and family friendly as it is, you'd be kind of especially because they don't have much to latch on to right now, they'd be fucking shoving it down people's throats.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's something with Ori. I think Ori needs to continue, but I don't think Ori sits with these other picks.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I think at this point let's get Wolfenstein out.
All right. So we have. So how many spots do we need left?
So we have 6 locked. We need 4. There are 6 left here.
What 2 children need to die?
Ugh. Okay, so Viva Pinata, I think there is potential there, but they haven't made one of those in a while. They could really make a good one, but as far as we know, they're not doing it.
Yeah. That hurts me because
I know.
That one hurts me for a lot of reasons. Especially because I look at how big Stardew Valley is.
Right.
I look at how big fucking Minecraft is.
Yep.
I look at how big all these sim and farm games are, and I go this game was before its time.
Right.
And like I think about like how like throwing that shit on Game Pass and Steam, just being like, hey guys, you like Stardew Valley, right? Check this shit out.
Yeah.
And watch it just blow up.
Yep.
Just re-release the fucking games. Don't even make new ones.
Right.
And like that's the and like for new ones you can do cool shit. It's like at this point, like fucking Perfect Dark is a lock because it's fucking. Well, let's be honest with ourselves.
They're betting so hard on it, and it worked so hard.
And to be fair, like I said, you have all these ideas of what you can do with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that yeah, it's like you got to keep Viva or Banjo, and like Banjo is the name.
Yeah, that's the thing. Banjo's the name. Banjo got invited to Smash, not the Pinata thing.
His name is Horstachio.
Thank you.
Was the mascot for that game.
Remember.
Thank you.
Could not remember. They got a show.
Names were amazing.
Do you remember the Saturday morning Viva Pinata show?
They had a kid show for it.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, and it was. I don't remember much about it.
I don't remember much about it.
They also put out a party game for that. They also put out a party game. But yeah, man, look at all these Lackatoad. And Dairy. A Flutterscotch. Got a Chunicorn.
They did good. They did good, but
Crocodile.
I think they're fantastic. Again, if they had any intention or had shown any intention that Viva Pinata was still on the table, I would say that has a real argument. If it weren't for the fact that its name was smaller than Banjo-Kazooie, I would say it would have a better case.
Yeah, like that's my big problem with it. Is just like it doesn't have the fucking name recognition.
Yep.
And that's my fucking the humble grumble about it with this. So like,
what's making me sad is I'm looking at this like, okay, put these names on the box with the Xbox and sell it, and what's bumming me out is I feel like the bottom two were the weakest.
Oh, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
You got that streamer clout, boy.
Dude, I love Sea of Thieves. I love Sea of Thieves so goddamn much, even when it pisses me off.
I think they're more invested in it than they are Fallout at this point.
I mean, they only just recently bought it. I don't know.
And we'll see what they do with it.
And it's gonna be a while before they like really dig into a Fallout because they're working on Elder Scrolls 6, right?
Elder Scrolls 6, yeah, they're and like avowed like that Fallout's buried underneath piles of shit.
It is, but it's not like they can't leave Fallout behind. It can't become.
They can put it in the dustbin for a while, like, especially after the reaction to 76 and like 4 got a positive reaction, but like a lot of people were like felt that like it was too old, like they let it go too far.
Which was a correct, I think, assessment. And then they just put that shit into 76. Fallout.
You just drop Fallout. You just pull it off.
The more we talk about it, the more I'm convinced.
You can get like the only reason that like I say you get rid of Fallout and you get rid of Pinata. If
this is what has to happen to keep Sea of Thieves on, I'm like 90% convinced that's the right option. But man, Fallout would sell so much more than Sea of Thieves if they made a good Fallout.
Like Sea of Thieves is doing really well.
It is,
especially if you look at like Twitch presence. Like that game, like last night, like had right now at like 10 at night on a Tuesday, it has almost 5,000 people watching it. Like that's right. Like, but like that a lot of times means to eventually people like playing, and like that's I mean, I don't know. Like I feel as though that game has a community that is like ramping up more and more. And
I
they
mean,
keep
with the
adding
seasons
stuff
thing
to it.
being added, that's huge. That's some news we heard
Yeah,
just today.
yeah, and they're like really, really supporting this game in a big way. Like, this is one of Microsoft's big games as a service games.
I guess I'm still like, absorbing the fact that they, because like I was looking at like Sea of Thieves, and yeah, they were occasionally adding like a big patch that added some new stuff, but it didn't seem, I don't know, it didn't seem substantial to me in my mind. I felt like eventually they were going to move on, work on their next game that they're starting up right now, and keep going. But like this announcement today with Seasons is like this game's been around for a while now, and now they're announcing Season 1. And like,
well,
they're gonna be doing this for a while.
They just announced today that they have 18 million people subscribed to Game Pass.
Right.
And like, I think it was over 70% of people who bought the new Xbox subscribed to Game Pass. I'm telling you, a lot of them probably tried Sea of Thieves with their friends and dug it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big part of why, and I continue to think that it's going to be, you know, and it's only 2 years old, to be fair. Like, it's old, but it's not like that old.
Is it only 2 years old?
It came out in 2018, I believe.
Did it originally come out in early access?
No, just came out March 20th, 2018. It was a box product and everything.
This has been the longest time. Holy shit.
This March will be its 3rd anniversary. It'll be 2019, 2020, 2020.
This last year in particular has just stretched time to an incredible... Wow.
Yeah,
all right, well...
Yeah.
Damn,
so
they really turned that game around real fast.
I think that...
well, I mean, yeah. I think Viva Pinata goes for sure. And then, like...
All Out's going in the basement, and it's not coming out for a while, man.
You know, we like controversy. We like making people mad. Let's get rid of Fallout.
Let's do it.
Whatever.
All right, let's... All right, in no particular order.
Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Somewhere Brittany Parks is mad.
Whatever, we kept Elder Scrolls.
We did keep Elder Scrolls. So, in no particular order. Also, man, look at all the rare representation, baby.
Yeah, no kidding.
We got Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Killer Instinct, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Sea of Thieves.
Whew. Okay.
Down the back of the box, that'll sell some shit.
Absolutely.
That'll sell some Xboxes. People in the chat, which of those would you buy? Which would you get you most excited to buy an Xbox? This list for me, it would probably be Killer Instinct.
Right, yeah.
Killer Instinct got me to buy an Xbox One, so... Pretty Dark got me to buy a 360.
Sure. To be honest, I think a good way of doing an initial ordering in terms of like what is in the back half of this list and what is in the front is which games do we feel comfortable being on the front of the box with the console alone, and which would we want to like throw on the back with a few others.
All right, so like you know, I think that on number 10, I think that it's like Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a good number 10.
Yeah.
I think that is the game. Like, I think there are other games on this list. You say this is the pack-in, this is what you're buying at launch. This is the game. Versus, I think that Sea of Thieves is the game that, like, okay, you've played your Halo, you played your Forza, or you played your Gears, or your Elder Scrolls 6. And you go, hey man, you got Game Pass, right? All right, cool. Hey, come try this pirate game with me.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, like I think 10 is a good spot for it.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Especially, you know, looking at these other games here, I'm like, you know, Sea of Thieves person, what? Like a randomized character?
I'll say this about Sea of Thieves with that new Battle Pass stuff that they announced today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be playing way more Sea of Thieves.
Dude, I have been itching now.
Now that they have in a progression so my biggest problem with Sea of Thieves is the progression system sucks.
It's rough.
There's no point for me to play it. Like, I'm just like, okay, my point. So, like, I have the cosmetics I like. So the only point for me to play this game is to cause other people misery. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, now having like a reason to level up, even if it is just to cap out the battle pass.
Right. Well, there was a reason to level up. It was to become a pirate legend. You had to level up in the 3 trading factions. That was
already
the
a
technical
pirate
end
legend
game.
in my mind.
In your mind. Well, that's wonderful.
In my mind, I am a pirate legend, and this legend wants to grief people.
I was a pirate legend until yeah.
You know what? He succeeded in this legend.
Well,
this past Saturday.
Wonderful.
I flung myself off a ship and lit the barrel in their hole.
Wait, what? Oh God! People can catch that stream on Twitch. No.
Yeah, no. Once you left, we went to go fight. We found like 3 ships in a fight at Reapers, at like trying to plunder the Reapers. And like Parker and I did a drive-by where I jumped off the mast of the barrel, went under their deck, and lit the motherfucker.
Nice. Wow.
And then we both died, and then we tracked them down again, and then like we set our boat to cruise towards them. We both jumped off it and swam fucking exploding barrels under them.
You guys are fucking chaotic.
Dude, it's so much fun to grief people in that game. It's the best.
That's my biggest problem with Sea of Thieves, is I'm trying to get away from the griefers.
Come one of us.
No.
Join
Not until I'm a pirate legend. I need a pirate legend, and I need to have the cosmetic stuff I'm aiming for, which I don't have yet.
Okay, fine. We will get you to pirate legend as soon as possible so you can go fucking grief with us.
I need to become a pirate legend. I need the stuff that I want cosmetically, and then we're good to go. Then fine.
Great, then you can go join us on our griefing trail.
But now with seasons, there'll be like seasonal things to work towards. So
right, and I'm sure there will be PvP options.
I mean, yeah, it's called Sea of Thieves.
Oh Lord.
So looking at this, I'm like, okay, so they're betting hard on Perfect Dark, but we don't really know what that is yet.
Yeah, man, I'm still like I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have one other game I'd put at 9 first.
Okay.
Forza.
Really?
Like, Forza is a big franchise.
Yeah.
It's a huge franchise. I think it's probably one of their biggest right now still. But I think it's all in that category of like, that's not what you buy the system for. That's not what you play first for most people.
I guess.
I think it's very much all right. I knocked out my Doom, Fable, Gears, Halo. It's on the multiplayer. I'm feeling bored. What else is on Game Pass? What's a new game I want to buy? I heard Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport's really good.
I think it is absolutely a back half game. I would put Fable behind Forza.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you and I have very different opinions on where Fable was.
My experience with Fable was not as favorable as yours. I can say that
I
right
love
now.
those first 2 games, and that third one I recognize is
weird.
Incredibly flawed, but I had fun with it.
I like Fable 2 because he had a dog.
I liked Fable 2 for a lot of reasons, one of which is the Wheel of Misfortune.
Sure. Fable 1 was an interesting thing at the time, and then like the relationship stuff, specifically in 2. Yeah,
that's
there were some fun ideas, but like it never. I don't know. I didn't feel like it ever really came together.
All right, so number 9, I guess Perfect Dark. Then I'm willing to settle there.
Yeah, just because we got 2 games and we don't know what the hell this other game is. So
like I think Perfect Dark is, like I said, I think that provided that this 4A studio lives up to its potential and you maximize the ideas in that franchise, that could easily be their new box game.
Yes, they could knock it out of the park with this, and it would be like the new front face of Xbox.
Fucking what a world that would be! Joanna Dark, the head of Xbox.
I looked at some box art of Joanna Dark and just like, man, just how 2000s, how early 2000s that hair is. Like, what does that look like now?
Well, it looks. Did you see the trailer?
I did when it came out. I guess I missed Joanna Dark.
Okay, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up right now.
You're pulling it up on stream?
Yeah, I'll pull it up on stream. Why not?
Okay. Sorry to potential podcast listeners. If I can figure out how to get other podcasts uploaded, RSS.com is being a little frustrating. So,
all right. So let me pull up. Let me pull up screen capture, window capture.
Just that red hair with that blonde highlight in front, just like, wow, yeah.
And then the N64 one also looks completely different from that.
Right.
The best part. She has like in that she's like a straight up brunette. So yeah, here's the trailer.
I want to find out. Let me look this up. I'll describe it for the audio people if we ever get audio people for this.
I mean, we know one audio person. Cartwheel listens to it audio.
Right.
Well, for the podcast, not this.
Yeah.
I remember they showed this trailer at the Game Award.
Oh, we're gonna watch the whole trailer.
I'll turn the audio up a little more. Why not?
All right.
This is what they're banking on you buying an Xbox for. This is the teaser. Yeah, why not? So this is what they're banking on you buying an Xbox for. This is the teaser.
People dying in the streets.
I've never played a perfect.
So they're doing this dialogue. They were doing this dialogue. I was like, "Oh, Perfect Dark." So they're doing this dialogue. And then they show like the big corporate facility, and you see like the side of it. And I'm like, "Oh, Perfect Dark." They show like. Then you see there's like the Datadyne logo at some point in here. I'm trying to find where. I'm like, "Oh, it's 100% Perfect Dark." Datadyne logo at some point in here. I'm trying to find where. And I'm like, "Oh, it's 100% Perfect Dark." There it is. Datadyne logo.
Okay.
Yep, there it is.
Okay.
Datadyne logo.
Okay.
Did you find the answers you were looking for?
I'm a little behind, so
Not yet.
ooh. Okay. Did I see a twinge of purple? I'm a little behind, so
I think so.
ooh. Man, okay. That's a good cut. All right. Did I see a twinge of purple? Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Yeah. Oh, man. Perfect Dark. Okay. That's a good cut. All right.
Jesus.
So
No, you now play the old one still up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said during the trailer, I've never played a Perfect Dark, so.
All right, number 8. What do we want to go for 8?
Number 8 on this list. Ooh. This is actually tough. What do you think? So we haven't talked at all during this whole time. I just want to say this franchise got into the top 10 without us ever talking about it. Killer Instinct.
Yeah, that game is so. Dude, they made a perfect fighting game. They went ahead and made a fucking perfect fighting game, and I realize that sounds insane when I say it.
Sure,
but like everything that the fighting game community always bitches about all the fucking time is fixed in that game. Like, fucking, tutorials for fighting games are hard and they suck. And they never explain shit like frame data. It does it. Like, netcode for fighting games is bad, and so is the ranking system for them. It fixes it. There's not enough diverse characters. There's like 40 characters, and they're all diverse and weird and crazy and awesome. Oh man, I wish they had guest characters. It has the fucking Arbiter and General Ram and a fucking Battletoad. Like, it's so good. I don't even know what you would do for a sequel. I fucking don't know what to even do.
Yeah, no matter what they do, probably be a downgrade.
Like, make a better campaign. Like, the Shadow Warrior stuff is all right. Like, make a better story mode. Like, that's my only thing you can really do. And like more new characters. Put Master Chief in it.
Yeah, sure.
But put the villains. You put the sidekick and the villain of Gears and Halo. Let's put the heroes in.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, like I would, and I think KI is a name that, like I said, has some level of clout still, enough to where at their Microsoft 2013 press conference, they pulled the card. They did do you remember that announcement?
No.
So they dim the lights and they start playing the music and they copy the announcer. So if you've ever played a Killer Instinct arcade cabinet, it was KI 1 or 2, but it would say, coming, in winter 1995 on Nintendo Ultra 64.
Okay.
Killer Instinct. And then the music would play and you'd play Killer Instinct and be awesome.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing, but like, coming this winter on Xbox One. And they play the trailer and it was once again awesome.
Like, I have no opinion of the older Killer Instincts. But I do know that there was some name recognition at least. It's the fact that I know Killer Instinct like is a good game. This new one is a good game.
Also, there's a hashtag that is floating around. It's currently going around right now.
Okay.
Called I saw it today because of the upcoming tournament on the 1st. It's time to hashtag bring back KI again. Thanks to Twitch Rivals and there's literally a hashtag bring back KI.
Wow.
And then this week, like I think that there's a group of crazy people who all really love that game, and like you plug in the hashtag and like, yeah, man, there's a lot of support for that game in the FGC.
Are they getting into tournaments?
Yeah, remember it was before EVO was canceled. It was an EVO game.
That's right.
7 years later.
Yeah. What do you think about Banjo-Kazooie and Fable going below Killer Instinct?
Say I'm willing Fable to go below it.
You're not feeling Banjo, huh?
Banjo, I'm debatable on Banjo.
How about Fable
Banjo's
at 8?
got mascot. Fable and what?
Fable at 8.
Fable at 8 would be fun.
Okay.
I think Fable and Forza. Those two.
Oh right, Forza. Yeah, I totally forgot Forza's all the way up here on my list. I gotta put that down.
They're the same level of franchise, I feel. Number 6. So here's my.
Wait. So Fable at 8 and Forza at 7, or?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
All right.
Yeah, like I think Killer Instinct is a modern, better game.
Yes.
But I think Banjo has way more clout. I think if you said, hey, we're doing a Banjo platformer and it looked really good, like on the level of a Mario Odyssey or a Mario 3D World, and like really flexed its muscles, then I think that would be something more interesting than Killer Instinct. But I think that, but like it's like current and past product potential versus what currently exists.
That's the thing. And Killer Instinct has more going for that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Killer Instinct, is an amazing game that Iron Galaxy did a fucking bang up job on. Would they be willing to make a sequel, or at least put in some more support for it?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did the PC and Series X version, Xbox One X version.
Mm-hmm.
Versus who would they get to make Banjo? And all right, who's making Banjo? And if so, who can make a platformer that's on that level of like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, once again, if you nail Banjo, then you can do Banjo Kart, you can do Banjo Party, you can fucking, really flesh things out.
Yeah, you can make a whole thing out of Banjo.
Yeah.
But it is a matter of who you get behind that, who to do the right thing with Banjo, because, Nuts and Bolts was a controversial thing.
It was a great game. Like that game, once again, people were dumb and wrong. I understand why people didn't like it because, people wanted Banjo 3 and they didn't get Banjo 3.
Right.
They saw like this weird car game, creative and fun, well designed. However, it was, they felt lied to.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
But the shame is the thing is they didn't give it a chance, and that's the part that bums me, because I gave it a chance. I said, you know what? Rare has made only one game at that point. Rare had only made one game I wasn't that fond of, and even it was okay. And I had faith, and I went and I played it, and I loved it. And they were selling it at a discounted price. It was only $40.
Right. That too. Yeah.
So I think you can coin toss this. The thing that makes me want to put Killer Instinct at 6, even though I prefer it as a video game and a franchise, is Banjo's potential to be a mascot.
That's the thing. That's what's persuading me is like, put a Killer Instinct character on the front or put Banjo on the front. I would put Banjo.
Right. Like, granted, Fulgore being on the front of an N64 box is what sold me on it, but still.
Sure. At the time, absolutely.
Because he was a badass looking metal man.
Right.
By the way, if this tells you anything, I'm on Rare's website right now.
Okay.
And this is the order of their store. Sea of Thieves, Battletoads, Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, Perfect Dark, Conquer.
Yep.
So if that cameo is at the very bottom.
Oh, that's sad. I love that Conquer's over Cameo.
Buy Cameo merch still though, boy. Let's go.
Sure.
All right. So I think all right, so we got as Banjo at 5?
Yes.
All right, Banjo at 5. All right. I think that you can't really. All right, so Banjo-Kazooie at 5. What's up?
I don't know. I feel like we're gonna have some interesting conversations in our Discord seeing Banjo at 5, but like I understand. We get it.
Yeah. All right. I think
this 1, 2, 3, 4, like not in any order, is a real good list.
Those are all games that will sell the fuck out of an Xbox.
Holy shit!
But I think number 4 should be Doom.
Okay. Why?
I think that those reboots have been great.
Yes.
2 games into it, they have a legacy also with the older games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like 2 of these at least in Halo and Elder Scrolls have I feel move more units, have more of a name amongst the normie crowd,
Sure.
as our Discord would call them.
Yes, I can
And
see
then-
that.
And then I think Gears has more pull among a contemporary crowd.
Really?
I
I don't
do,
think so.
yes. Also, it helps that Gears of War's multiplayer is not ass.
That's
is
the one thing I can be
multiplayer.
persuaded for Doom being at 4 is that Doom's multiplayer is nothing to write home about.
It is shit. It is so bad.
They could do some like cool
Both of
endless room stuff or endless run stuff with Doom as a mode, and that would be so much fun. A horde mode esque
got
thing for Doom.
But Gears does have horde mode.
It does have
As
horde
escape
mode, but
mode.
it's also Gears, which like Gears is good. It sells millions.
What is? Yeah, dude, and they do these sick custom Xboxes that always look dope.
I mean, yeah, they do, but
You
like
know?
I don't know. It just
Yep.
Gears has not struck a chord with
do-rag.
me in the longest time.
Chainsaws.
I played most of 4 and a
rags and
good
chain-
portion of 5, and it was like, that's more Gears.
Yeah, but like I've got through the second half of Doom Eternal and fucking started to hate it. So, like, you know,
That was because of one
that
enemy
first week-
type and the bosses.
yeah, and it just felt like it dragged a bit. But yeah, yes, like
It's,
I don't know, like I feel as though like Gears, just because of its multiplayer, has more meat as a franchise.
that's
And
true.
like I feel like you know, unless you're an old fogey like me in the crowd who like remembers playing Doom on his cousin's computer when he was like 8, you know, or you're like Brad and Jeff's age,
Right.
you know, Gears carries more weight.
I think
um,
I think Doom. I think I'm okay with Doom going 4, Gears going 3, but I also think Doom has more potential if they could figure out the multiplayer or just had like a different mode
and-
beyond the first person stuff. I think Doom would be a better game than Gears. Because the
Yeah,
gameplay
I
loop
can
of Gears or of Doom is phenomenal. It stresses me out after a while. I have to slow my heart rate doing something else for a little bit before I can continue playing it. But it's amazing. And like we can rag on the platforming all we want, but the platforming mechanics that they give to you, the player, and then you incorporate into the gameplay loop of fighting enemies is awesome.
I can agree with that. But then you have the actual platforming, especially at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Levels that are not great for it, admittedly. So you know, take that how you will.
Anyway, I think Doom has a greater potential to be, absolutely has the potential to be better than Gears. It just hasn't gotten it yet, and maybe with a new Doom, they figure it out.
And to be fair, like after playing like Gears Hive Busters, I'm really high on Gears of War where it could go. Like they did a bunch of really cool set pieces and got rid of that open world nonsense, and like added some really cool co-op stuff.
Sounds like they also
So, like,
introduce characters that you care about too, or at least are entertaining.
It helps. Yes, the fact that this squad is more interesting than New Delta Squad, it helps.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. So
So
we'll see. So there's a little promise in each, but that's a close 3 and
Alright,
4,
so-
but fine.
all right,
Here's a big one.
all right.
All
All right. Am I the one who has to be the obvious one here? Number one has to be Halo.
Does it though?
Yes.
Does it though?
Yes.
4 and 5.
Yes. 4 was fine. 5 had a
Fine.
great multiplayer.
How about
Elder
5?
Scrolls. Its multiplayer is really good. Its single player is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, mediocre gameplay, bad story, really bad story.
Ugh.
But like, let me tell you, I think Elder Scrolls Skyrim is part of the reason why developers feel okay releasing unfinished games.
Absolutely.
And I also feel as though that Skyrim was really impressive and cool at the time. Like, as someone who at the time also felt it was kind of overrated for what it was, I also feel that like even more so now, and that's been the only thing they've put out in 8 years.
Yeah.
No, even worse, 9 years. And like, Halo has slowly gotten back on the right track.
Has it?
Halo Wars at MCC for PC is awesome.
Sure. Yes, that is good.
All the new unlockable stuff and all that creative shit they're doing with that, it's awesome. Halo Wars 2 was a good-ass game.
It's still Halo Wars.
It was good. It wasn't amazing, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And everything they have shown me for Halo Infinite makes me look at it and go, and like every bit, like they showed that Halo Infinite gameplay, and I'm like, dude, it's old Halo. They stripped out all this co-op shit. They stripped out all this other nonsense. It's hey, put me on a ring world, semi-open, have me fight aliens in different encounters with cool ass weapons that feel good and vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep putting, and like they keep showing it. They supposedly we're getting new reveals every month until it's out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is supposed to come out. Everyone's saying it's coming out on the first anniversary.
That's what they're saying.
So November 15th. That's the rumor.
Yep.
So yeah, like I feel as though, and like even Microsoft is so fucking confident in Halo that it was supposed to be the big fucking thing for the launch of the Series X, and even though it got delayed, if you look at the back of that console's box, it is a big ass fucking picture of Master Chief. When you say Xbox, that is the first franchise that is the Mario of Xbox. And
it is.
I just can't think Oblivion sold a lot of Xboxes.
Yes.
And a lot of people played Skyrim on a 360, I'm sure.
Ton of people.
I have no doubt about that. I did it on PS3, which was the worst version at the time.
Yes.
So it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But like what that game has done since, and I have no faith in Bethesda to make one of those. Because I saw what they did with Fallout 4, and I saw what they did with 76.
Yeah.
And they're more than happy to they could have easily done in the same time period, made a new engine and really here we did a Skyrim remake in our new engine, but no, they just said, here we put Skyrim in 4K. You go, here we made a joke where we made it for Alexa.
Yeah.
And Bethesda's best work right now, if anything, has been more as a publisher than a developer.
Yeah.
And I think that fucking their work, I don't think 343 or Bethesda as a developer is in great standing right now.
That's the thing. That this is the big thing with both of these studios, which is really a tough position for Xbox right now. Is as far as our list is concerned, the top two are banking a lot on each of their next games.
Right, and the thing is Halo, I've at least seen gameplay and it looked good.
That's true.
It looked like old Halo, and they went back and they said, "Man, people are really pissed off at Halo 4's art. Let's go back to the old Halo art."
Which then people started complaining about that.
What?
Which then people started complaining about that, the Halo Infinite's art.
Which is hilarious to me because I'm like, did you not like old Halo? Boot up the Master Chief Collection. That's what it looks like, man. Like I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, like I'm of I think that just it's not Xbox without fucking Halo. It's just like if Halo Infinite, but like if Halo Infinite bombs, I don't even know what to think of that brand anymore.
That's the
thing. I think Microsoft, and that's the thing that I think Microsoft knows. If fucking if Elder Scrolls bombs, like okay, whatever. It's like that's unfortunate. You're gonna lose a lot of money on it, but it's not the end of it's not the end of the world. Versus if fucking Halo bombs, that shit is done for a decade. And I mean,
Elder Scrolls was a success, and it was kind of done for a decade. So,
yeah, that's because they made dumb choices, admittedly. But yes,
it's I think if we did this list after Halo Infinite and after like Halo, Elder Scrolls, and like the Perfect Dark game came out, then maybe this list would be different, quite different, and maybe we revisit it, when all of them have or something. I don't know, but in this world of potential, like the one thing that sways me is one, like Halo is Xbox and Xbox is Halo, and like part of the reason that we started doing this list, we wanted to do a Microsoft best like Xbox franchises list, is to see what would replace Halo. And like you brought up a good point, like Elder Scrolls does not feel like that. Like just because they bought them, it doesn't, even if they made that exclusive, it doesn't feel like an Xbox. It's Gears. And then Banjo, if they wanted to commit to it. Then Killer
like
Instinct,
Perfect Dark,
Forza,
really is like
if Perfect Dark goes, then yeah.
Like who knows? Like maybe 2 years from now, like we go and we sit down and we have this conversation of like, well, hey guys, the new Perfect Dark had this amazing campaign, this amazing multiplayer and co-op, and it's the next big thing for Microsoft.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that.
And all of a sudden, Perfect Dark jumps up this list.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I think looking at it, the way that we see things right now, we've seen potential gameplay of Halo Infinite. That the way that looks could change by the time it comes out. But we've actually seen what that looks like, and everything we've heard of what Halo Infinite is and what it means. Sounds like a good direction for Halo. It's something fresh and different for Halo, while still keeping with the spirit of what made Halo great. Whereas Elder Scrolls, like the big thing is like, what does a modern Elder Scrolls look like, especially after a successful but relatively lukewarm Fallout 4 and a disaster that was Fallout 76. What does a new...
And then also like games have changed so much.
Yep.
Especially in that genre. Like in that genre, it's not as acceptable to come out as a fucking buggy mess. As we saw with the way people responded to Cyberpunk.
Right.
Like it's not as acceptable. Like just because you made big open world game, and like Skyrim got away with a lot of that because it was like the only one doing that at the time.
Right.
But now like every game is a big fucking open world game, including Halo.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but again, they could be working to fix all of that with this new game, just given like it's so goddamn secretive and we don't know what it looks like and all that. But because we haven't seen any of it yet.
Because like they made those tech choices in like 05, 06 when they were making Oblivion, and then now they rode that train for 15 years. Now the train has to stop, And like, are they going to go through and write a whole new engine?
I have to imagine that's what they're doing, right?
And you would hope. I mean, they're apparently putting out Starfield before they're putting out fucking Elder Scrolls.
Like
so,
given that, like, it's again, like, stakes are high for Halo, and they have to make something new for Halo. Stakes are high for the main team over at Bethesda working on like both Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Starfield, whatever Starfield ends up being. We don't even know what the fuck's going on with Starfield.
Yeah, like Starfield is supposed to come out first. You know, like that's another thing. Like Starfield is supposed to come out first of the two. They showed those they showed those fucking teaser trailers at E3 like 2017, I want to say. Like let's see. Oh no, it's 2018. Yeah, it was the first E3 I didn't go to. From when I started.
Yeah.
And it's and yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like okay, so that's coming out first, and then after it they're doing Elder Scrolls 6. And like,
do you think if they're working on a new engine, they debut it with Starfield?
Maybe, like, it's a new IP, and like they did this Elder Scrolls 6 teaser, and it's just like
nothing.
Obviously CG, and like it's nothing. Like it's even more of a like this is like Perfect Dark at least gives you a concept.
Yes,
this is literally nothing.
I'll give the Elder Scrolls team this: they gave us more than that God of War trailer.
You mean that logo?
The logo.
That logo.
That logo. We saw some CG lands. That was real good. Yeah. I think if they did Elder Scrolls right, it would be, just as big a deal and would sell a hell of a lot of consoles if they made that exclusive.
Oh yeah. But like I just don't think it's like their franchise. And that's why I think it's number 2.
I think I think especially now during this time where they're being very quiet about how they're going to handle things like Fallout and Elder Scrolls going into the future here. It especially doesn't feel like their franchise. I think if they really say from Elder Scrolls 6 on is Xbox exclusive, then that conversation becomes a little different. But while they're quiet, we can't really,
Well, like they said, their current this is what they said. Their current contracts are all,
yes.
are all going to go through and finish them. But then, every time they're asked about Elder Scrolls or they're asked about Fallout, they're like, "Well, we're currently looking into those."
Yeah,
I'm telling you what that means, everyone. Timed exclusives. That's what that means. It means you're going to get Elder Scrolls on PlayStation. You're just going to get it 2 years later. Or
I mean, that would be a good business decision, but.
So, but yeah, and then number 1, you got to do Halo, right? Like that's what it is. Like it's
if they fuck this up, man.
Yeah, like that's
the thing. If they fuck up Halo Infinite and then we go back and do this list after that, I think that we have a different
Gears
number 1.
Is the king.
Man, no. I hope they put out a real good complete Doom and make it exclusive, and then that can be number 1.
So this is what we know for timetables. Halo is the end of this year.
Yeah.
2022, we're supposed to get Fable and Forza and Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
We don't know when we're getting Elder Scrolls. We don't know we're getting Doom is at least 2-3 years away. And we don't know when we're getting a new Sea of Thieves, if whatever.
I mean,
so
yeah, the Sea of Thieves is fine where it is right now. I don't know how you, unless you make it.
Yeah, there's stuff you could do in a sequel to make a better progression system and some other stuff, but for now it's fine.
I'm just thinking for visuals, what do you do with your map and things like that.
Bigger, better map.
I guess, right? Take advantage of the technology.
Yeah. All right. So from 10 to 1, we have Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Fable.
Yep.
Forza,
Yep.
Killer Instinct,
Yep.
Banjo-Kazooie,
Mm-hmm.
Doom,
Yep.
Gears of War,
Uh-huh.
Elder Scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
and Halo.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show.
That is
Top
our
10.
top 10-ish Xbox
Top 10
franchises.
Xbox franchises. We'll be back next week with top 10 PlayStation franchises.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow, we're doing your next favorite game.
Yep.
Where we show you two Xbox Game Pass games that you should or shouldn't be playing.
Yes.
And then on Sunday morning, it is Super Gamecast 2.
Got some news to talk about.
News, all the hottest news. And with our hot takes. Get them all the hot.
Hey, if you're not catching the shows, we got Super Gamecast 2 podcast is up. The newest one has been up today, all day today. If you want to catch the newest Super Gamecast 2, it's there. And then we're all on social media.
Podcast.
What's that?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yes, Spotify and Apple Podcast. And then we are on social media, and we have our Discord channel. If you want to hop in the Discord channel, talk video games or whatever else, we talk movies, we talk sports, music. So we'll be there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Halo. Don't forget about Halo.
All right.
Have a good night, you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you. You have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.